Hi guys, today we're going to talk about asking and answering questions when we read. And we're also going to be focused on recounting stories, retelling stories, just so we know what's going on when we're reading. We're going to start off by reviewing some questions that we ask ourselves when we're reading. And this has to do with inference. We've talked about inference a little bit, but it's when you take the information that the author gives you, you add it to your background knowledge. That's creating an inference or a guess about what you think is going to happen next in a story, what you think the author's purpose of writing the story is, and just different guesses that you normally do without even knowing when you're reading a story. So when we read a story, we ask these questions here. Okay, we ask, what happened? When? Why? How? Who was involved? Where? Where'd the story take place? So these are 6 questions we can remember to ask ourselves and each other when we're reviewing a story. And this is all about asking and answering questions. If we can answer these questions, we are comprehending or understanding what we're reading. Okay? What I want you to do is you're going to take time and you're going to watch a video. And the teacher in the video is going to read a story to you, and it's going to model or show how she asks and answers questions when she reads. So what I want you to do is I want you to pause this video, and then I want you to go down. It's the next video down below. Okay? So go watch that video and then pause me, and then you'll come back to me, and then we'll finish the lesson. Okay, go ahead. Alright, so you just finished watching the video, and it talked about the tortoise and the hare, and the teacher who was teaching the lesson, she talked about what happened in the story, how do we know, what did we learn, what was the moral of the story, things like that. Okay, so these questions were all involved, okay? What happened? When did the story take place? Why were these 2 characters doing what they were doing? How did it end up? Who ended up winning? And where did the story take place? Okay? So these questions we should all be able to answer regarding that story we just read. Okay? But for the time being, we are going to read this book together, and it's called Piggy Pie. And as you can see, we can make an inference or we can guess what this story might be about. See, I just asked you, what do you think this story is about? And on your paper, you should have a piece of paper, and this is number 1. And I want you to make a prediction or a guess. What is this story going to be about? Okay, look at the cover. Make sure you look at the detail here, what's on the page. Okay, so I'm going to give you a few moments to write down your prediction. What do you think this story is going to be about? So number 1 on your paper, it should look like this. Let me show you mine. So I have my name on my paper, and number 1 at the top, right there. I'm going to write in a complete sentence what I think this story is about. And just from looking at the cover of the book, I'm going to write it in a complete sentence. I'm going to write, I think this book is about pigs and an old woman. Now, yours obviously might not be the same as mine, and I expect yours to be a little different. Okay, so you can see I wrote it there. I always start my prediction or my inference with I think or I believe. I don't want to say that the story is about an old lady and pigs. Okay, that's not a complete sentence. You have to have your subject, which is I, okay? And then you need a verb here. You think. Okay, I think this book is about pigs and an old woman. Okay? All right, let's go on. If you need to pause this video to write your prediction down on your paper, please feel free to do that right now. Okay, so you are back. You've written your number one prediction. As we go, I'm going to ask you to pause this video, and we are going to have to answer some questions because this is all about asking and answering questions and recounting or retelling what the story is about so far. Okay, so here is the first page, Piggy Pie. Gritch, the witch, woke up grouchy and very hungry. Her belly grumbled for something delicious, something delightful, something special. But what? It wasn't purple mousetail stew. No, she ate that yesterday for lunch. Maybe some mashed dragon tongue pudding? No, Gritch wasn't in the mood for anything quite that sweet. Perhaps a taste of boiled black buzzard feet. That always made her mouth water. No, not today. Today, Gritch wanted something truly tasty, something really yummy, something special. And that could only mean... Here's the picture. Piggy pie. Yes, yes, piggy pie. I can taste those plump, juicy, pink piggies right now, Gritch said, smacking her lips. She hurried to the pantry and pulled down her old hag cookbook from the top shelf. She picked off a spider, blew off the dust, and turned to the secret recipe on page 342. Gritch ran her bony finger with the long green nail down the list of ingredients. 1 eye of a fly. She checked the pantry shelves. No problem, said Gritch. 2 shakes of a rattlesnake's rattle. No problem, said Gritch. 3 belly hairs of a possum. No problem, said Gritch. 8 plump piggies. Okay, so I want you to write a number 2 on your paper. Number 2, so it looks like this. And I want you to answer the question, what kind of person do you think Gritch is? What kind of person do you think Gritch is? We know at the beginning it told us that she was a witch, Gritch the witch. Okay, but what kind of witch do you think she is? Okay, I want you to pause this video and I want you to write down your answer. And remember, we always start an inference or a prediction with I think or I believe. So I'm going to start mine out with I think Gritch is. You can start yours that way or you can do something different. So pause this video and write down your inference. And I'm going to write mine down too. All right, so I'm just finishing my prediction. And I have written, I think Gritch is a nice witch, but a hungry one. Okay, she doesn't really seem that evil to me, but she does seem a little hungry. So your inference should be different than mine. And remember, these are predictions. They don't have to be the same as other people's. What is right to you might be wrong to someone else, vice versa. Okay, so let's continue working. If you need more time, feel free to pause whenever you want. Problem, screeched Gritch. I don't have any piggies. How can I make piggy pie without even one puny pig? Gritch pulled her hair. She stomped her feet. She paced the floor. She wanted piggy pie. She wanted piggy pie very much. She said, tapping the lucky wart on her chin. Now where would I find 8 plump pigs? Gritch thought and thought and thought. Aha! She shouted with a jump. The circus! Yes, yes, the circus! The circus? No, no, not the circus. You don't find pigs in the circus. She thought harder. Aha! She shouted with a jump. The zoo! Yes, yes, the zoo. The zoo? No, not the zoo. You don't find pigs in the zoo. She thought much harder. The farm? Yes, yes, the farm. You find pigs on the farm. There still was just one teeny tiny little problem, though. Where to find a farm? Where else? Gritch let her bony fingers do the walking and opened the yellow pages to F, where she found a very large ad. This was it. So where is she going to find the pigs? And that's number 3 question. So we want to put number 3 on our paper. This is how I did mine. Where did Gritch want to go to find the pigs? Where did she figure out she needed to go to find the pigs? And I'm going to write it in a complete sentence. So I'm going to start mine as Gritch went to a blank. And I want you to write where she ended up finding these pigs. So write that down. If you need to pause, make sure that you do. I'm going to go on. Gritch put her broomstick in gear and headed over the river and through the woods to Old MacDonald's farm. I've got you in my sights now, you little porkers, she cracked as she circled overhead. What are these pigs doing? If you can see the picture, you can see that they're trying to dress up. Okay, so that's another kind of question that we can ask while reading. Why do you think they're dressing up in a farm? Okay, you don't have to write that on your paper, but that's just another question to ask. Why do you think they might be dressing up? I'm going to continue reading. Gritch zoomed in for a thump, landing. She spit straw, fanned her still smoking tootsies, and lifted her goggles. There wasn't a pig in sight. Where'd they all go? Gritch shouted to a duck. Hey, duck, I said, where are all the pigs? I need 8 plump piggies for my piggy pie. The duck quacked here and quacked there. Here it quacked, there it quacked, everywhere it quacked. No piggies. What do you mean, no piggies, you dizzy duck? Gritch screeched into his bill. I just saw a passel of piggies down here not a minute ago. Hand over those hogs, you little quacker. No piggies, quacked the duck. Gritch pulled her hair, she stomped her feet, she even threatened the duck with one of her most evil spells. The duck was not impressed. It wasn't even scared. It gave Gritch another quack and waddled away. So who needs a dumb duck anyway? Gritch mumbled. So for number 4, I want you to write down your answer. Who are these ducks? Okay, who really are these ducks? So for number 4, I'm going to write the ducks are really, and then I'm going to finish my sentence. Who are these ducks? Look at this picture. Okay, who are the ducks? If you need to pause to write your answer, please do that. Being careful where she stepped, Gritch wandered across the meadow. Yoo-hoo! She shouted. Moo? You, Gritch said to the cow, where are the piggies? I need 8 plump piggies for piggy pie. The crow moo-mooed here, it moo-mooed there, here it mooed, there it mooed, everywhere it moo-mooed. No piggies. What do you mean, no piggies, you lumpy-looking cow? Screamed Gritch. I need 8 plump piggies for piggy pie. Fork over the pork, you walking milk machine, or I'll curdle your cream. No piggies, mooed the cow. Gritch pulled her hair, she stomped her feet, she even threatened the cow, even one of her most evil spells. The cow stared at Gritch, swatted a fly with its tail, and lumbered away. Cows, who needs them? So she tried the barnyard, where she stopped a chicken in its tracks. Okay, bird brain, where are the piggies? I need 8 plump piggies for piggy pie. The chicken clucked here, it clucked there. Here it clucked, there it clucked, everywhere it clucked. No piggies. What do you mean, no piggies, you feathered drumstick? Gritch screeched. What's going on here? Where's the boss of this heap of hay? The chicken flapped a wing toward Old MacDonald. Gritch looked him over once, twice. You're Old MacDonald, she said. Don't look much like your picture, do ya? The farmer fumbled his suspenders and shrugged. Look, Shorty, I've been a quacked here, mooed there, and clucked everywhere all around this farm. I need 8 plump piggies for piggy pie. Where are those piggies? The farmer looked her. The farmer looked here. He looked there. Here he looked. There he looked. Everywhere he looked, no piggies. What do you mean, no piggies, you flea-bitten speed spreader? You must have piggies. Gritch pulled her hair. She stomped her feet. She even threatened him with one of her most evil spells. No piggies. Her stomach growled. It grumbled, but there were no piggies. There would be no piggy pie. Now what was she going to eat? Okay, for number 5, I want you to write your answer to the question, what is really going on in this story? Okay, so what is going on so far? Okay, what can you infer is going on so far? And I want you to write that in a complete sentence. So please, what I want you to do is pause this video and answer the question, what is going on so far in this story? And write your answer. See, I've put my number 5 right below number 4. Pause this video and take the time to do that. Okay, we're back. Let's continue reading. Psst, psst, psst. Excuse me, little lady. Wolf's the name. Let me give you some advice. Forget about those pigs. Forget about the pigs, said Gritch, eyeing the wolf. He nodded. They're too tricky, trust me. I've been chasing 3 little pigs for days. He huffed and puffed. I'm starving. Look at me. I'm nothing but skin and bones. Grinch pinched his arm. Well, not quite. She grinned. Mr. Wolf, I have the most wonderful idea. I was thinking, since you haven't eaten and I haven't eaten, why don't you come home with me for lunch? I'm a very good cook. Why, that does sound tempting, the wolf said, as he looked at Gritch and smacked his lips. Are you sure it wouldn't be any problem? Problem? Gritch grinned. All right, so we're going to make a prediction again. So for number 6, I want you to predict, why does Gritch want the wolf let me try that again. Sorry. Why does Gritch want the wolf to come to her house for lunch? Is she really going to treat him to a lunch, or does she have other plans for the wolf? So I want you to write why you think Gritch invited the wolf to lunch. So pause this and write your answer. It just has to be a sentence long, and remember to start it with I think or I believe. Okay, we're going to finish the book. Here's the last page, and it says, "Oh, no problem at all," she said as they walked off arm in arm. "I always enjoy having a wolf for lunch." So your number 7 question, and let me show you the picture. Your number 7 question is, what do you think Gritch is going to do with the wolf? What do you think Gritch is going to do with the wolf? Okay, I don't know about you, but it sounds to me like the wolf should be a little nervous. Okay? So when we read this book, we had to stop and ask questions. Of course, when you read every single book, especially when you're taking a test and you're reading a passage, you're not going to be able to write down your teacher's not going to ask you every single question, and you're not going to be able to write things down. But as we read, we need to get in the habit of just checking our comprehension and our understanding. And we do that by asking questions like this. So what I want you to do is I want you to go over your answers. Make sure they are all correct. I want you to turn this paper into the turn-in bin. And if you have any extra time, you can go on Study Island.